Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel, which name is Analytics Pro. Here under this playlist guys, we are going to cover only SQL concepts from scratch. In the previous tutorial guys, we have studied about alteration of existing stored procedure, that how we can alter existing stored procedures. And now in today's tutorial guys, we will talk about one more topic of SQL, which name is subquery. So with the help of this subquery guys, you guys can create multiple logics, and that is very much useful guys while creating complex logics. This topic guys is little bit tricky as compared to other topics of SQL, and I will definitely try to explain in very easy manner. So let's start our class guys, and before understand the subquery topics guys, we needs to understand few points. So here are the points guys. Subquery you can say inner query or nested query. This query is written within another SQL query and embedded with where clause. So mostly guys, subquery works with where clause. And now let's understand the next point. A subquery is used to return the data that will be used in the main query as a condition to further restrict the data to be retrieved. So basically guys, subqueries return the data that you guys use in main query, or you can say outer query, and further restrict the data that you mentioned under the inner query, that data to be retrieved. And now let's understand the third point. So there are few rules guys that subquery must follow. Subquery must be enclosed with parentheses, or you can say brackets, and this order by command cannot be used inside a subquery, although the main query can be used order by command. And last but not the least, subquery that returns more than one row can only be used with multiple value operator such as the in operator. And now let's understand the chart. So here I have divided subquery into two parts, inner query and nested query. So let's firstly talk about inner query. So whenever we talk about inner query guys, subquery used for filtering in the where or having clause. So here you guys can see I have taken a very simple example where I have selected name from the employee table where normal salary is less than the average salary from employee table. And this example guys we will definitely see with practical. And the next part of subquery is nested query. So whenever you use subquery inside another subquery guys, that become nested query. So here under this example guys, we have simply used this subquery which start with bracket like select department from. After that we have started another subquery with group by clause. And at the last guys, we have used that subquery with where clause to calculate average salary is greater than 50,000. So this is the example guys of nested query. So let's move towards the practical guys and understand the inner query, nested query and other types. And now guys, let's understand the types of subquery. So here we have scalar subquery which is single row. Here we have multiple row subqueries with multi rows. And the last but not the least, correlated subqueries. These are the three types of subqueries. But there are some non-correlated subqueries guys which we will definitely talk about in the next tutorial. So here under this tutorial guys, I will cover only this scalar subqueries and multiple row subqueries. So let's start our class with this single row subqueries. So single row subquery or scalar subquery means a scalar subquery is a subquery that returns a single value. Mostly guys, aggregate function used here under this scalar subquery. Scalar subquery can also be a query with expression which returns single value or as output. It is typically used in context where a single value is expected, such as in the select clause or comparison operation, like where or having clause. And the single row subquery guys, it is basically used all these operators like equal, greater than equal to, less than or so on. So let's learn when we require this single row subquery. So here is the problem statement guys. Write a SQL query to fetch those employees who are working in the HR department. So this is our problem statement guys, which we guys will solve with single row subquery. Here we needs to fetch only those employees who are working in the HR department. So let's move towards SSMS screen to understand single row subquery. So now guys, we have entered in SSMS screen. And before resolve this problem statement guys, let me show you both the tables. So our first table name is employees 3. So let me open this table with select command. Select star from our table name is employees 3. Now let me select this query and hit execute. So here we guys can clearly see we have three columns: employee ID, employee names, and department ID. But we can't see any department here. So department we have in another table. So let me also open this table with select command, select star from our table name is departments. So now let me select this query and hit execute. So here we guys can see we have just department IDs and department names. And if I execute both the queries together guys, so you guys can compare both the tables. So here this department ID 1 is equal to HR. That means this John Doe working with department ID 1 which is HR. This Alice Smith is working with department ID 2 which is sales. In a similar way, this Bob Johnson working with department ID 3 which is IT. And the last but not the least, Eva Brown working with department ID 4 which is finance. And now guys, we are already aware about it. This department ID 1 is equal to HR. This 2 is equal to sales. So I want to fetch only those records who are working in the HR department. So how we can write this query here under this employee 3 table? If I want to fetch only HR records, so we can easily write this query with where clause. So let's start to writing our query. Select star from our table name is employees 3 and I want to fetch only HR detail. So what I will do guys, I'll simply write where department ID is equal to 1 because we already aware this 1 is equal to HR. And now let me select this query and hit execute. So these are the employees guys who are working in the HR department. So if you want to cross check guys, let me execute both the queries together. So this John Doe working in department ID 1 which is HR. Similar way David Clark, and the last but not the least, this Jack Smith is also working in the department ID 1 which is equal to HR. So this query fetch only those records who are working in the HR department. So this time guys, this query is hard coded with this department ID 1. For an example, if this department ID may be changed in the future guys, so this query will be fail over there because you are searching with department ID and we guys are pretty much aware about this thing. Here department ID 1 is equal to HR and we are fetching only HR records. So what we can do guys, we can make this query dynamic with the help of subquery so that if this department ID changes into the future guys, so still you will get the accurate result. So what can I do guys? I need to replace this one with specific department name so that if department number is assigned to some other department, so at that time our query should not be break. It should give me only those records which I want to fetch here under this query. So what I will do guys, I will simply change this one and instead of one guys, I will write subquery. I will fetch only those records who are working in the HR department. So before replacing this one guys, what I will do, so let me simply write my basic query here. Select department ID from department table. So guys, this time we are fetching department names from the department table. So simply I will write where clause here, where department names is equal to HR. And now let me select this query and hit execute. So here we guys can clearly see this department ID we are fetching from department table. If you also want to see the name of the department, you can simply write the column name here with select command. So in this way you can fetch department ID as well as department names. So what I will do guys, let me remove this department names from here and instead of this one guys, I will replace this my query with single row subquery. So what I will do guys, let me remove this one from here and start bracket. And also let me close this bracket. And under this bracket guys, let me add this subquery here. So let me cut this query from here and paste it here under this subquery. And now let me select my entire query and hit execute. So see guys, it fetches only those records who are working in the HR department. And now in future guys, if department ID changes to any other department, it always give you the HR records. No matter it is either the department ID is 2 for the HR, 3 or so on. This query will not be break. So I hope you guys are clear with this single row subquery. Although you guys can create a same logics with join kind. So let's try to apply the same logic with joins. So here we are applying column level join. So for applying the column level join guys, we need to use alias with tables. So what I will do guys, I will simply write select command here. And this employee 3 table guys, I will consider as E1 dot, and after that I'll put it star because I want all the records. And finally I'll write my table name from, and here I will tell this employee 3 I have considered as E1. And now I want to join this employee 3 table with department table. So I'll simply write my query here, joins, and simply write my table name with alias. So my next table name is departments. So I am considering my department table as D1. And finally guys, with on keyword, I'll write the common column name of both the table. So here I have considered E1 as employee 3. So I'll simply write E1 dot. And here I can see all the columns name from employee 3 table. So the common column is department ID equal to, here I'll write D1 dot. So again the common column is department ID which we have in both the table. And last guys, you need to simply add the where clause here, where you want to fetch only those records which are related to HR department. Simply write D1 which is my table name dot, and the department names is equal to, let's say, HR. And now let me select this query and hit execute. So you guys can see we have fetched the same records with join kind, but this query is much easier than joins. So if you guys using the subquery guys, so this could be the alternate of joins. Either you guys can apply the same logics with join kind, as well as you guys can also use subquery. And now guys, let's understand the another problem statement of subquery. So here is the next problem statement guys. Write an SQL query to retrieve the name of the employee and salary, whose salary is less than the average salary of all the employees in the EMP1 table. So let's try to understand this single row subquery with practical. Let's click here on this new query. So let me show you guys EMP1 table first. So I'll simply write select star from, our table name is EMP1, and now let me hit execute. If you have this single query guys, so without selection you guys can simply execute. So here we guys can see we have ID columns, names, salaries and hire date. So firstly let's calculate normal average. So to calculate the average guys, we need to use select command, and after that simply use average function. And I want to see the average of this salary column. So I'll simply take this column name which is salary and simply write my table name which is EMP1, and let me press enter here. And now let me select this query and hit execute. So see guys, here I can see the average of this salary column, but here we can see there are a lot of decimal places. So let's do some modification here. So firstly let me add alias. Let's say average salary, and I want only one decimal place. So to round off this decimal places guys, I will simply use round function here. So let me add round and bracket start, and I want only one decimal place. I'll simply put it comma here and put it 1 and bracket close. So now this query returns me the average of salary with one decimal place. So let me hit execute. So here we guys can see this average salary from this EMP1 table. And now let's go back to our problem statement again. So our problem statement says, so we needs to fetch employee's name and salary, whose salary is less than the average salary of all the employees in the EMP1 table. Let's go back to the SSMS again. Now let me run both the queries together. So our average salary is 1,17,666.7. So let's check who are the employees guys who are working in this less than of the average salary. So let's write this query with subquery, or you can say single row subquery. So firstly I'll start my query with select command. Select. So I want to fetch these names from the employee one table. So I'll simply write names, comma. Then I want to fetch salary column. So I'll simply write salary. So which table I want to fetch from? So I want to fetch from this EMP1 table. So I'll simply write my table name which is EMP1. And now guys, our next logic says we need to filter only those data with salaries less than the average salary of all the employees. So what I will do guys, I'll simply write my where clause here. Where, simply write my column name which is salary, and we are filtering only less than the average salary. So I'll simply write less than sign and bracket start. And under the subquery guys, I will take this query here. So let me copy this query, which is normal of average salary, and paste it here under this subquery and bracket close. And now let me select this query and hit execute. So here we guys can see the list of those records whose salary is less than the average salary. And now let me execute both the table together so that you guys can understand this output. So our average salary is 1,17,666. If I talk about this first record guys, so the Shubham candidate salary is 10,000, which is less than this average salary number. Similar way, if you take any of the record, so this salary is less than this average salary. And now guys, if you want to cross check those records whose salary are greater than this average salary, so what you need to do guys, simply remove this less than sign and simply add greater than. And now let me select both the query together. So see guys, here we have just only two employees whose salary is greater than this average of the salary. So here names are Shreya and Himanshu. And here you can simply check the salary of Shreya and Himanshu. Here we have 50 lakh and here we have 10 lakh. So in this way, you can use this single row subquery. I know guys, this topic is little bit tricky, but trust me guys, if you practice at least 10 to 12 problem statement like this, you will be feel more proficient here under this single row subquery. And now guys, let's talk about multi-row subquery. So let's jump into the PPT again. So our next type of the query is multiple row subquery. So this multi-row subquery is a SQL that returns multiple rows of data. And these are the operator guys which you can work with multi-row subqueries like in, not in, any, all and exist. So let's learn how we can use this multi-row subquery with these basic operators. So here is the problem statement guys for this multi-row subquery. Write a SQL query to fetch those employees who are working in HR as well as finance department. So in the single row subquery guys, we were trying to fetch only HR departments. But here under this multi-row queries guys, we need to fetch HR as well as finance department. So let's jump into the SSMS screen to understand this multi-row subqueries. So let me cross this query again. So let me simply click here on this cross button guys. And I don't want to save this query. So let me simply click no. So again we are back into this previous page where we have explained single row subquery. So let me again execute both the table together. Simply write select star from my next table name is departments. Now let me execute both the queries together. So here we have this employee 3 table and here we have this department table. So here under this single row subquery guys, let me add single row subquery comment here. So this is my single row subquery guys and we have fetched the same solution with joins. But now let's talk about multi-row subquery. But this time guys, we need to fetch HR as well as finance data. So what we can do guys, we can simply use multi-row subquery to fetch more than one row of data. So how we can write this query guys? So again we need to start with this select command. Select star from our table name is employees 3. And what we want to fetch guys, we want to fetch department IDs. Here department ID and simply I'll use in operator here because I want to fetch more than two departments this time with the help of multi-row subquery. So here we will use in operator and I will simply start my bracket. And here under these brackets guys, I will write my multi-row subquery. So again we will take the same logic. Here we have fetched only HR department. But this time guys, we will fetch HR as well as finance. So let me copy this query, select department ID from the department which is in the next table where department names is equal to HR or department name is equal to finance because this time we will also filtering finance and bracket close. So this is our subqueries guys where we are fetching HR as well as finance data. So guys, if I hard code this query with specific department ID guys, this query will be break in the future because if someone changes the department IDs in the future, so this query will gives you the wrong result because you have hard coded with this specific department ID. So that's why guys, I have used subquery with in operator so that if department IDs changes in the future, this query guys will not be break at that time. Now let me select this query and hit execute. So see guys, it fetches only those records which we have in the HR as well as in the finance department. So this query is known as multi-row subquery. Multi-row subquery. And if you want to apply the same logic with the join kinds guys, so with the help of join kind, you can also fetch multi-row subquery data. So let's try the same query with joins. We'll simply write joins. And I will use the same logic which we have used in the single row subquery. So let me copy it here. And instead of HR guys, I can simply use in operator here. In and simply write my department name. So my first department is HR and my second department name is, let's say, finance, and bracket close. So this is the same logics guys which we have written in the single row subquery with join. So let me select this query and hit execute. So see guys, this query also returns the same result. So here under this class guys, we have not explained any join kind. So those who are not aware about the joins kind guys, so you guys can explore this playlist and there I have created a separate video of joins. So you guys can watch that video and you can easily understand these joins. And now guys, let's understand one more point of subquery. So let's suppose guys, if you want to sort this employee ID column as per the descending order. If you write order by clause here under this subquery before ends this bracket guys, so this order by clause will not be work here under this subquery. Let me try to add order by clause here under this subquery. Order by employee ID should be sort as per the descending order. And this statement guys I have written here under this subquery. So now let me try to hit execute this query. See guys, clearly shows an error. The order by clause is invalid in views, inline functions, derived tables, subqueries and common table expression unless top offset for XML is also specified. For these queries, order by clause will not be worked. So here under this subquery guys, you cannot write order by clause. But if you want to sort this column as per the descending guys, so you need to remove this order by clause from this subquery guys and simply add after the end of the subquery. And now if you try to execute guys, so see guys, you can see our column has sorted as per the descending order 14, 12, 11 which is largest to smallest. So I hope you guys are clear with this single row subquery and multiple row subquery. And this is the point guys which we have explained with this example. Order by command cannot be used inside a subquery. So we guys are left with one another topic which name is correlated subquery and non-correlated subquery. So this topic guys I'm going to explain in the next tutorial of part 2 of subquery. So for such kind of detailed learning guys, stay connect with us and kindly support this channel. And those who are new to this channel, kindly hit the like, share and subscribe. And don't forget to press this bell icon guys, else you will miss an update. And those who wants to learn Power BI or SQL from scratch, so you guys can follow this free YouTube channel which name is Analytics Pro. And if you scroll it down guys, so here you guys can see we have a full course Power BI playlist where I have explained each and every concept about Power BI in detail. And if you click here on this playlist button guys, so you guys will get to see multiple playlists are here. This is the Power BI full course playlist and these are the advanced concepts of Power BI where you guys can take the knowledge of advanced concepts of Power BI. And we have this Power BI with SQL playlist where you guys can learn all the concepts of SQL from scratch. So you guys can start your SQL journey with this free YouTube channel. And along with that guys, we have this visualization playlist and we have this DAX expression playlist where we have covered most of the DAX functions from scratch which are majorly used in your projects. And here under this playlist, I am also trying to cover all the differences of DAX functions which is majorly asked in an interviews. And very soon guys, I will add some more playlists so that you guys can take better understanding of the analytical skills. And for the job seekers guys, we have this free Telegram group where I'm keep posting latest Power BI jobs opening as well as you will also find some latest interview question and answers which recently asked by an interviewer. So you don't need to pay anything to anyone. But those who are looking only live sessions, so we guys also conduct live training and sessions where we prepare candidates from scratch till intermediate level with some scenarios, real-time projects, assignments, notes and so on. And we also provide placement assistance with the help of WhatsApp group where you will get to see some HR emails, contact number and so on. And you guys can also follow us on Insta as well as Facebook. So all the links I will share under the description box. You guys can follow us there. So for free learners guys, you guys can follow this Analytics Pro, and for the live training and sessions, you guys can connect me any of the platform. Thank you so much guys for your more love and support. Keep learning and keep growing. Thank you so much.